Welcome to the Leadership Excellence Podcast. Today we're joined by a guest speaker. This is the first talk of the year, and it's going to be on three secrets to leadership and routines. Dr. Vance Cooper, who reached out to us after listening to the podcast and resonated with what we're talking about, we decided, look, Happy New Year. Dr. Vance is going to join us. Dr. Vance is a leadership development professional who works primarily with students and organizations, helping people unlock this unrealized leadership potential within themselves. His work is grounded in the belief that leadership starts with how we see ourselves, not titles, and that everyone is leading someone. So his main concern is, look, everybody should be a leader. What stood out to us immediately was how closely his philosophy aligned with what we're talking about: purpose, serving others, meaningful goals that actually stick. Today, Dr. Vance is going to join us as a guest to share his perspective on goal setting, commitment, and why focusing on fewer goals is often to leads to better outcomes. So, Dr. Vance, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for becoming our
Yes,
first
welcome.
guest speaker of 2026.
No, so first off, gentlemen, thank you very much for having me and inviting me onto your platform. I'm glad to be here. So when it comes to leadership, speaking specifically about routines, your routine is something that is so very important, yet something that is very underrated, I believe, by a lot of people. So for me, and I think for anybody that has a consistent routine, your routine, that what you do in the morning, it really sets you up for success in the beginning of the day. And so one of the things, or just kind of tying it into our the us talking about goals and setting goals, one of the things that I've done, I have my big goal, but then one of my goals under my big goal is to, I have to do in 2026, I have to do a lot better with stop pushing snooze. It's a big goal for mine. I had a point in time where I was consistently just the alarm goes off and you wake up. And I really got out of that habit. And what I noticed was that the alarm will go off. So like usually I'll get up like around 7 o'clock in the morning, but the alarm will go off at 7. And then the next thing you know, I hit snooze. Snooze is 9 minutes. Then you hit snooze another time. That's another 9 minutes. So it's 7:18. And by the time I actually start getting myself together, it feels like I'm rushing in the morning. And then I feel like something's just off throughout the day when I feel like I rush in the morning. So what I've done is made an adjustment recently as of this week. So I recently started just setting my alarm, set it for 7:05. And so that way, me knowing, I just made a contract with myself essentially. And I said, Vance, when you go to bed, you're going to go to sleep no matter what time you go to bed. When you wake up in the morning, you hear that alarm, you get up right away, with no excuses. And so, me doing that, making that contract with myself, so far, it's so far so good. It's been working. It's been 2 days so far. No hitting snooze. So one thing I know just from my conversations with you, the one thing that I did not have is creating, just from our preliminary conversations, creating a reward for myself as a result of me winning, getting it on time. So that is one thing I'm going to make sure I do at the end of the day, excuse me, at the end of the week, after I've gotten up and successfully not hit snooze all week, I'm going to make sure I reward myself as well.
Yeah, don't forget, look, you can reward yourself, and the idea is to do it every time you do the routine. Get
Right.
up in the morning, right? You're up. What are you going to do? Now, maybe you do um, what that Christmas show does. Die Hard. Maybe you got carpet underneath your feet, and maybe you're rubbing your toes into the carpet, and you're calling that your reward. I mean, I know there's a debate whether it's a Christmas show or not, but do it. Rub your feet. Call that the reward. Make something happen for a reward, and not at the end of the week, but every time you do it. That's why they call it a habit loop. You have a trigger, you wake up, and then you do the routine, whatever it is, and then you reward yourself as soon as you do it. That'll reinforce it. Dr. Tom, any questions for Dr. Vance on this? I got so many, so please interject
Well,
anytime.
you know, I I can relate. I hit the snooze too, and what I do is I give myself my reward is when I get up, if I have time, which I will if I get up on time, uh, I can make myself my coffee and have a Danish before I leave. Otherwise, I can't.
You'll be working on your weight after you have the Danish. So
Well, you know,
the other thing with rewards is make it small. Like I remember when I was trying to lose weight, I had to change the environment I was in because I went south. But how do you make your routine small? I wanted to walk 10,000 steps. I started by walking around the block and just go around the block once and just call that a win. I knew I could do it. But from once it goes to, there's a berm, there was a berm near our house, walk around the berm. And then in the morning, I would walk to get coffee, which is 4,600 steps, and come back. My routine happened in between. But let me tell you, after I celebrated halfway through my routine, I knew I had to get back home. So sometimes I would even jog, which is pretty amazing. So you're going to build your confidence up no matter how small your routine is. Build it up. Definitely do the reward thing. So, Dr. Vance, look, I'm very interested in what you do and how
yeah.
you lead people. So, tell me a little bit about your work. You get up in the morning. What does a day look like?
So my day consists of, so I get up, pray, meditate, and then I jump in the shower, and then from that point, so I actually work at a hospital in an inpatient mental health unit, and so I do my work, and then a lot of times outside of my work, that's where I'm really doing my leadership development work. So I'm doing outreach, I'm sending emails, I'm following up with people, making plans, doing strategy, doing different strategy sessions with myself and my business partner. So that's really, I do a lot of that work in the afternoon. And so I have a tendency to stay up late because I find that I do a lot of my work well in the evening. I think it's just a habit I created, especially when I was doing my doctoral work. As time knows, it's a lot of reading and reading and reading and reading and writing. So a lot of that.
It helps you
So
go to sleep at night.
yes, absolutely. So a lot of my I think it's just a habit I picked up when I was doing that where I have a tendency to do a lot of my work in the evening hours. But the thing is, I've had to learn, which I am pretty good about, is I cut myself off at a certain time, usually like around 10:30 or 11 o'clock, regardless of unless it's something that I absolutely have to get done before the next day. I'll usually cut myself off around 10 or 11 o'clock, and then I'll give myself a little bit of fun time where I'm watching Netflix or watching a show or something like that that I enjoy before going to bed. And so that's really kind of pretty much what a day in my life looks like. In terms of what else happens over the course of that day. I could be going to speak to some students. I could be going to, doing a call with an organization, different types of things like that of that nature. But that's pretty much what my day looks like. So it's
Nice.
a little bit predictable, but a little bit unpredictable at the same time.
Yeah, right on. Okay, well, look, we're going to talk a little bit about goals. And we're going to talk a little bit about routines. So, from a goal standpoint, I mean, this is Tom and I have the same understanding of what a problem is. A problem is simply the gap between where you want to be and where you are. Thinking from the future backwards. It's a gap. That's a problem. Now, from the problem standpoint, this should have creative energy coming to you because you want to achieve your future. So, what's a meaningful goal for you, Dr. Vance Cooper?
Well, the big goal for me is to be international world renowned speaker. I want to be the best speaker in the world and when it comes to leadership. And so that's my big, big, big goal.
Now you see why we have you on the podcast. That's very inspirational. And
It really is.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, and I heard from Norman Bodek, who was our coach at one point, is if you have a strong enough goal, nothing can get in the way of your practice. I want you to practice very well at this, Vance, because then you might say, "Look, I didn't do it alone. Tom Lawless helped me." We should change the
And they'll say
podcast
who?
name. Two doctors and an engineer. That's what we're going to change the podcast to. So, so as you go through this journey, you're going to have to develop great habits. What are some of the habits you're thinking, other than getting up early in the morning, or like getting up in the morning within a minute, right? That's one good habit. What are other habits you think you need to have?
The other habits that I need to have is to consistent outreach. So that's something I've been better about doing. Even me reaching out to you guys, just talking about how your show was very inspirational to me, and very interesting. As you can see from our conversations, that we have alignment in a lot of areas, especially when it comes to leadership development. So I would say that. The other thing is to I need to do a lot more research. So I think that even though I am a researcher, I love reading different topics, getting like history and things of that nature. But I think that I got a little bit away from like actually those like the same habits that I had as a doctoral student. I don't necessarily have those same habits when it comes to researching and staying on top of the like the current like the events and the ongoings and leadership. And so that's one of the things that I've had to really develop a routine with that as well. Because as Tom knows, a lot of the things even though when you're in a doctoral program, a lot of the work you're doing is based on things that you're interested in doing. So it wasn't necessarily like I wasn't like I'm reading things that I'm not interested in. But I think the habit, it's like once I finish hit submit on dissertation, and it's like I had to
It's
detox
like,
myself
whoo.
from
Yeah.
yeah, it's like I
You
had
know,
to
it,
detox myself from that mode.
yeah.
It's like you get in this doctoral mode where it's like you're a wired machine. So I had to like unprogram myself to be that way. And then I think when during that unpro or that deprogramming myself, I really kind of got away from doing the all the research and reading that I enjoyed to do, that I enjoyed doing. So that's one of the things, one of the habits that I've had to pick back up on, actually having some dedicated time where I'm like consciously reading, just kind of keeping up with the trends in terms of what's going on in the field and just different ways that I can impact not only my clients but the different people that I come in contact with on a day-to-day basis. So those are some of the things that I would say that I like those habits that need to kind of be reinserted into my routine.
Nice, nice. Well, look, we're going to make an investment in you. You're going to go through our OW64 system. You're going to create an OW64, and we'll bring you back after you have your two service routines and your 10 regular routines. We're going to help you with all of that. So I want you back on the podcast as soon as you do that. Tom, any questions that you have of Dr. Vance? Because I just think the guy is very interesting. He's from
Oh man.
Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's neat.
born and raised.
That's fantastic. Now, are you still living there, or are you in Florida now?
I wish I was in Florida.
Oh,
We're in Philly, and as we record this, we're getting ready for well, at least I'm
oh, that
saying we're
awesome.
bracing
Ooh,
ourselves for what they're saying is supposed to be a snowstorm this weekend. So keep my fingers crossed it's not as bad as they're calling for.
man, I heard that's well, George, you're used to that stuff,
Yeah, but
that
misery loves
white stuff.
company, so I wish
Yeah.
nothing but great things for you guys. We're going to be 45 below this week in Winnipeg. Yeah, so it's like 50 below
Wow.
Fahrenheit, right?
Wow.
So we
Yeah.
we had to we had a little a little session today. Joanna and I went and made sure the horses were going to be warm for tonight, right? So it's terrible. This weather is crazy.
Yeah. See, I moved down
Yeah.
here from Chicago, so I've been down here for what, 8 years, something like
Yeah,
that.
ever
And
since I left.
yeah.
I told you to come to Florida. You come to Florida,
And then
then I
you
go to
leave. See
Galveston,
how it goes?
Texas, and yeah, and now
Yeah.
I'm back here.
And so now, Vance, it's like when it gets down to 40, I'm freezing. And
Yeah, not 40
late,
below, Vance. Not
no, no,
40
no, no,
I
below.
know
no,
exactly what
no,
he
no,
meant.
no.
He meant 40
Yeah,
degrees Fahrenheit.
yeah.
Bro,
And
I was just
lately,
talking
it's
to
been
old,
down at
yeah.
night in the 20s, and it's like, whoa! I even saw frost on my windshield the other day. It's like, what? Wait.
Yeah, my sister-in-law lives down in Florida, and that's how she feels. They're originally from so my wife and her family, they're originally from Georgia, like southern Georgia, but now she lives in Jacksonville after retiring from the Navy. And it's funny because when it gets they're just like you. When it gets to like 40 or so, sometimes I'll even say, dare I say 50 degrees. Sometimes it's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
it's starting to
yeah.
get chilly.
Oh yeah, yep. I was outside today. I'll come in and I'll tell my wife, it's freezing out there, and she'll go, "Isn't it 50 something?" And I go, "Yes," and I have the heater on out there.
When when you're looking at becoming a leader and one of the best in the world at what you do, how did you? I don't know how you came up with that goal, Vance. I think you have to be believing in yourself enough to do this, right? How,
No,
how did you do
absolutely.
it? Like, what's your
Absolutely.
background?
So I didn't always think this way. I think that it was funny that while I was doing my doctoral studies and doing my work, I was simultaneously going on my own self discovery, like a personal self discovery for myself. And so did a lot of self inventory, did a lot of self assessing just to really figure out like what do you because it's like I'm going through this program and I knew that it was the right fit for me, but there still was part of me like, what do you want, Vance? Like what do you want? Like what do you really, really want? And I think that that's one thing that a lot of people don't take the time to go through that process and figure out like that thing that they really, really want, that big goal, like we've been saying. And so I had a coach that I was working with, and he really challenged me to really. It's like no, Vance, don't focus on not what do you think you can get, not what do you know you can get. It's what do you really want. And once I really went through that process and really sat down, really did a self inventory on myself, figured out what my strengths are, limitations, what I actually wanted to do in life, who I wanted to actually help. That's when I really started the process of really kind of started this trajectory that I'm on now to really be able to help people unlock that unrealized leadership potential. Because one of the things about it is that so my PhD is in corporate leadership, but contrary to what some people might think, you could get a degree in leadership, but it doesn't actually teach you how to be a leader. And so
True.
leadership is one of those things that you learn from experience, from your environment, and it's that you have to inspire people, you have to serve people. That's really what leadership is. So I think that once I was able to do the leadership theory work, that's what really internally I was at the same time I was unlocking this fire in me to really be able to help people really recognize what leadership actually is, and for everyone to look at themselves as leaders. Because the one thing about it is that we all have the capacity to lead, but at the same time, every follower is leading someone, and every leader is a follower. And so, just keeping that in mind, what I recognized was that I was put on this earth to help people who don't see themselves as leaders, people who might think that you have to have this fancy title. I like to say you have the title before your name or the title is after your name. Just realizing that you don't need any of that to be a leader. That leadership potential is locked inside of you. And it's just, I aim to be the person that's able to bring that leadership potential out of people.
Wow. Very
There's
well
no doubt in my
said.
mind.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the best.
You got me convinced you can do it.
No, I appreciate
So
that, fellas.
I believe in you. You can make it
Yes.
happen. But look, you've answered the question that I think most people can't answer is why do I exist? And
Hmm.
so, congratulations. You've done a great job there. That self inventory helped you so much that, I think we're going to have to do something on talking about self inventory. But it is in the Harada method, it goes through the same process. What are your obstacles and what are you going to do about them next time they come up? What are your successes and what did you learn and what could you share with others? So, that's wonderful, Vance. Tom, any other comments?
No, Vance, I'm really glad you came on. You've struck a good note with me because I'm all about leadership, and you are you are the epitome of leadership.
No, I
Yeah, way to go,
appreciate
Vance.
that. I appreciate that, fellas. And once again, I definitely am appreciative for you all inviting me to come onto your platform. And hopefully I'm able to add some value and, just challenge the thinking of the people that are in the audience.
Wonderful. And now Tom and I are going to talk a little bit about 3 leadership secrets to creating routines that last. We know leaders should create routines in their organizations and routines for success, routines towards a true north. So thank you very much, Vance. Tom, let's get started with our podcast.
Yeah,
Okay,
but that didn't have me on it. That was just
no, that
George.
Yeah, that was just George.
doesn't mean much. Hey, by the way, just so you know, when Tom got his doctorate, we celebrated. We were both
Yes,
in Washington, D.C. I was receiving an award at the time. Tom was, why were you there, Tom?
Shingo.
Shingo, yeah. Tom was there for the Shingo Research Awards, where
Yeah,
I got an award because
Mhm.
I'm working with somebody.
yeah,
But I would never have thought that an award was in my future, ever. But when you do
Wow.
good work, it'll
Yeah.
happen, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, exactly. I
So,
always have a thing where it's just like you just said it. Good work is rewarded. Like I don't do
yeah,
things looking for recognition or trying to get these accolades and awards. When you do good work, people recognize it. The right people will eventually recognize it, and you will be rewarded 10 times over, even more than you can even imagine that you will
yeah.
be. So I genuinely believe that.
Yeah. Stay humble, my friends. Okay.
yeah.
Take care, guys.
All
Thank you
right, talk to you
guys.
later. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.